Hey, I'm Sharon. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a lovely little urban sketch, a landscape view with our beautiful lagoon in Airlie Beach, the ocean, some boats, some islands, and some people. And yet it's really simple and anyone can do it. So give it a go, follow it along. The reason I've chosen this one today is because I believe we can all do it, and we are building up your skills to get better and better. So I do hope you try each week's video, because each one is building, and within a month, a few more weeks, a couple of months, you're going to go, oh my gosh, I can do this. And you can. Anyone can do it. So give it a go. See what you think. Leave me a comment below if you've got any thoughts, or if there's something you'd like to try or try and work out how to do. Love to try and help you out. All right, so that's the thought for today. Hang tight. Here we go. Okay, so I'm doing this in my art journal book, which is portrait, but we're going to do a landscape picture. So I think I mentioned the other day a good way of doing that is just putting some dots. I'm just going to put some dots and make my picture just in your screen. So let's just see how far we can do it. So here, across to here, I'm just going to build a frame and contain our picture in that. And I've probably come down a little far, that doesn't matter. I'm using a watercolour pencil again because it's just easier than a rubber. It just gets rid of the lines, doesn't leave any marks. It's a great way to work. So today we're going to do an image of our local lagoon. Now, last week we talked about thirds, so I'm just going to put my third lines here, so that I can work out where I want to do my horizon and everything. And I'm going to do this third line as my lagoon line and this third line as my horizon line. And in my horizon I have Hayman Island, so I'm just going to put that there, and I have Hook Island and Mandalay Point, so let's put them in there. And then we're actually going to bring this one up just a little bit to get it balanced a bit better in my picture. And I'm going to do a little bit of that'll be the land. So here's our ocean, here's our land. And we've got a bit of a grassy embankment here that can be a little bit wonky. I want to be careful I don't get, I'm putting lines in, but I want to be careful I don't end up with all these lines through the page. I'm just going to, that'll be the footpath, and then we've got the edge of the lagoon, which is sort of through here, and then I'm going to do some lagoon and some grasses through here. We might put a couple of people in, we'll come back and do them later, we'll just sort of position a couple. And we're going to put some lovely palm trees in, because of course we're the tropics, so we're all about palm trees. So we'll put that there. We might put another one beside it, and probably a few over here, slightly different ones. And then we'll even just put a few little boats in, and some people walking along the footpath, maybe some people lying by the lagoon. So how's that? Something like that. So for me, I like to start with my permanent ink pen again. So I'm just going to put my lines in with them, and look, to be honest, I probably would have just put them in to start off with, right from the word go. But it doesn't matter how you do it. We'll just get a few palm trees happening, and we're going to do those ones with the leaves sort of, the palm thongs go up more. And as you can see, again, just scribbling. That's it. Just thinking about what a palm leaf should look like. We're going to put our island in the background. We'll do a few more palms here. Remember the crisscross back again. It doesn't really need to happen. Again, the beautiful thing with urban sketching is scribble in colour, because what you're really trying to achieve is catch the feeling, the moment, how it makes you feel, anything like that. If you want to catch the image exactly how it is, take a photo. That's what cameras are for. But if you want to see more detail in a place, then draw it, because that's when you look at it and start to notice all sorts of little things that you didn't notice before. So we'll just put our Hook Island in, our Mandalay, it's all in the background. As you can see, it's very easy for it to come together, because we stick with the principle of scribbling. Now I'm just going to put my people in here first, because funnily enough, people don't look that great with lines through them. But which way should we have them walking? This way. Oh, he's got a little heart face. And again, just remember, it's just scribbling, and we're going to put a few people lying down here. It's an illusion. Footpath. Make sure the people are on the path. Let's give them a bit more trunk. We'll get our coastline. Put in our little boats. There's not a lot of detail in these boats, but it captures it. Airlie Beach is about the islands, the ocean, the boats, the people, and the lagoon. And so that's what we've caught. Now, on the edge of the lagoon, it has got an edge to it in certain spots, and it's actually changed it. It's sort of a brick now. So let's get a couple of lines like that. We might put another line above it as well. I really like sort of wavy lines. You know, some people like them dead even. That's cool. It's whatever you enjoy. So we've done that. Now let's just move this up a little bit, and we're going to put our grasses in and some people, and just sort of like yeah, long grasses or flaxes, or so we'll just put the base of our picture there. I'm going to put a couple of people in the water, maybe just even a head, a couple of heads of people playing, and there you have it. Pretty basic image. Let's chuck some colour on it. So I'm working in my art journal, which again, like I've said, is not the best paper for proper watercolours, but it is pretty normal paper if you're doing sketches and travel journals and things like that. So we've got to make sure we don't put too much water on. Just get my little blue cerulean. And you can see I even cleaned my palette a bit. And I'm going to sort of come from this side more. And like I said on the last video, the reason I do the sky first is because it looks weird if it's put in afterwards. It sort of looks like it's on top of it. And I'm just going to let a couple of clouds come in there. And just thinning it out as we go. Soften those edges in a handy towel. Just give it a dab. Look at that. Isn't that simple? Just shake your hand. Let it do whatever it's going to do. Try and make sure there's no real sharp lines. clouds don't have sharp lines. They do have definition in layers, but in this particular image we're not going to do different colours. We're just going to leave it like that. And I'm going to put some bit of yellow and a little bit of grass green. And the reason I'm doing this next is because I don't want it blending with my sky. Now you can paint it all in, or you could just do little dabs of colour. Again, that's a personal preference. Next is our background hills, and we'll do similar. We'll do some mauve. And I'm going to actually just lightly dab that because I want it in the background. So again, this one here, these two are sort of about the same distance out, so I want them the same colour. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of blue and bring this one in deeper. I think we might want a little bit more blue. That's better. Okay, so now we've got our hills in the background and our lagoon. We need to let that dry if we don't want the colours to bleed into each other. Okay, so I'm going to do the lagoon next, and I'm going to do it in a nice blue and green to make a bit of a tealy colour, because you know our ocean is quite tealy, but so is our lagoon, because we've got these beautiful blue crystals in it that make it look a lovely colour. You just keep dabbing your paint until you get the colour you want. And as you've seen with my crazy dirty palettes, now that that's sitting there, if I choose not to use that, I can use that another day. It doesn't go off, it dries, and then I just put a dab of water on it and off you go again. And that is one of the things I love about watercolours, because if you're travelling or anything like that, I can, even though it's got a bit of water on it, I can just close it, bang, pack it away, and it's no problem. And that is fantastic, because you could sit at an airport and paint, or sit on the side of the road and paint. So I'm just going to try not to paint his heads. And as you can see, I'm just sort of painting into the grasses. I'm not really worried about them because I'll put more colour over them later anyway. Whatever's missing will just be added in. And then I'll probably put a little bit more of the blue, just sort of blend it up in a few spots, just give it a bit of depth. I've got too much water there. See? Nothing like a great handy towel. You can use the budget ones, waste the time. Get yourself a nice quality handy towel. I use old tea towels and all sorts of stuff, but the handy towels are the best. So back to our ocean. I'm going to put a little bit more green in that. Whoops, too much. Alright, let's just dab along that edge, because again, remember last week we talked about the ocean being lighter when it's further away. I don't ever use black, but I do use a Payne's grey for some depth in spots. Black is a very dead colour, whereas Payne's grey is actually made out some nice mix of colours. So I'm not sure if you missed a little bit of that earlier because my camera went off. I hadn't noticed. So you can see you've got our foreground. Now what about our palm trees? Well, we could do, you know, you think of a trunk of a palm tree, you might think browns and greys and that, but in actual fact you can put blues and pinks and everything in any sort of tree trunk really. And I'm going to put a little bit of that colour in the palm tree just there as well, with a bit of the darker green, because which we'll do afterwards, because The centre of the palm tree has always got a lot more shadow and so needs darker colours in it. So let's just blend that around. Again, we're letting the ink tell the story and the colour just give the idea of what's going on there. You might want to put a bit of yellow with green in on one side. Say we've sort of got this side darker, so our sun's probably coming more this way. We're all darker this side more, so we'll put our yellow more on our lighter. And then we're actually going to put a little bit of more of a reddy. And this is why I like watercolours. You go, oh, I like that colour there. Let's just chuck it in with there and see what happens. Maybe a bit more green in it. And we're going to put that a little bit more on this side. Again, just dabbling and in the middle there. Alright, and just for a little bit of colour, why don't we put some red. Let's pretend they've got red bathers on. Oops, they're both boys obviously. Let's give her a little bikini top and make her a girl. And this one could be wearing a bit of red too. We could put something on the heads here or over here. I probably wouldn't. Just going to put a little bit of red there for a splot. More because I wanted a splot of paint there. We've got this wall here of the lagoon, and it's a very pretty block work, like a sandstone. And so again, I'm just going to mix up some colours and see what I get, and then I'm just going to very thinly just put it on, because I don't want that white. I want to give the illusion that it had that nice rock wall. A little bit of Payne's grey, very lightly just in there. A lot of lines in this picture, but it works. It's okay. I'm going to put a little bit more dark just down in a couple of blobs here and here, just to give this a little bit more depth. Because as it dries, it loses it just a little bit. And I really want that to show that it's in the front. And as you can see, that just brings it right forward to us. And there we have it. I don't think there's anything else we need to do. One lagoon in Airlie Beach. If you like that, please subscribe to my channel on YouTube, or catch up with me on the private Facebook group Creating Vision Journals Together. And I'll catch you next week for another lesson on urban sketching. Have a lovely weekend. See ya.